Okay, sorry. When it comes back into that Yisod, where are we? Chaim, he says, I got a little lost there. Okay, where are we exactly? I got a little lost. I had a little problem with my screen, and I got lost. Are we on Hine Bechemshek Yivucha Degam Yisod Nikra Lishon? We did that one already? Or we didn't? We're up at the top of the page. Sorry. Ray Bezoar. Let's start again from Vehine. Bida Bechemshek Yivucha Degam Yisod Nikra Lishon? Is that where we're at? Or start from the top? Let's start from the top. Rebbe Eitz Chaim, look at the Eitz Chaim, he said, V'amnam, Kam handeshikim hu besod zivug. The zivug is that where we're at? We're not there. No, it's not where we're at. I lost the place. Huh?
We're in Chaf Dalet at the bottom.
Chaf Dalet on the bottom. There we go. Okay. I got offline there. Sorry. Rebbe Mabu Sharm Bechemshek Sham, he says, V'zel L'sham L'v'nimseki b'hiyos ha-tipos shel zivug Erich anpin. Now, Nesunim b'Yisod Shalo, when they come into his Yisod, Heim Omdim Mamish Toch Beis HaYisodis the Abba Ve'ima. So it's, now, I'm just having a little trouble in my mind picturing this, because I would assume that the Yisod of Erich Anpin was higher than the Yisod of Abba Ve'ima. But he doesn't say that. He says, Heim Omdim Mamish Toch, inside the base of Yisod is the Abba Ve'ima. It's inside of both of them. Okay. So I guess if you get into Abba Ve'ima, then you're also being, between Mashbir to the Yisod. V'oz Yisod the Erich Anpin, Ha'oma B'sochim, Hishbir V'nosen Tipos, El Toch Yisod the Abba. So then Erich Anpin first, he goes to Abba and he puts the Tipa in Abba. And so there's arba. I guess he pours then from the right side, and he says white side of what? Of the oros. He's pouring oros in there. The zun, they're the oros that are going to go to zun. Hamislavish besoch abba kaniskar, which is all of that now is deposited inside of abba. Baz abba achakach besoch zivug. So then Abba, after that, he's in the secret of Zivug, Shenizdava Gemima, they become together. Nasa Namachsis Ahu, so he takes that half. I'm just wondering what happens to the other half. But he takes that half. He says, Nasa Namachsis Ahu, Im Ha-Tipos Ahim, with those tipos that are going to make Zun. So the Zivug Toch Ima, and they exchange Yisodus, one like that. Vaz nimsa kol bechinas zun besod ivor, and then you see that zun now is in a gestation stage. Toch ima, inside of ima levada by herself, just in there. That's all. That's where they're at. V'zecha yisbor v'heite b'charucha b'periktas. He said periktas. You're going to see this more than one of this. Kan b'rei ma shuchuva v'ha'aros. There's going to be more ha'aros on that. Okay, that was number Kaf Dalet. So after Kaf Dalet, we'll read, and it's going to go like this. You can say, this zivug we're talking about, shall Abba ve'ima hu b'koich lashon ha'mishka, shall Erich Anpin. So let's say this again, the words are the zivug that takes place between Abba ve'ima is at the instigation, or the something like that, the initiation, or initially, something like that, provides the energy for that of the Lashon HaMishkal Shal Erich Anpin, the middle line of Erich Anpin, Hasasa B'Maluvet B'Abba Ve'ima, which is hidden inside of Abba Ve'ima. Now there is just a little note here down in number Kaf Hey. It's a short note. It says, Ve'epsher ki gam zeh hu sod masha amar kan Lishan do Sasim Bein Yud and K. So that's the same idea as being closed up inside them, or sealed inside of them, or something like that, closed inside of them. But inside of them, at any rate, it's Machriya. Then he goes on for number Kaf Hey, right? That's what we're going with. So Kaf Hey goes, Ki Mazel shall diknech de Erich anpin. Now he goes like this. Let's think about how this actually works. He says, the Mazel shall diknech de Erich anpin, mislavish betoch Abba ve'ima. Actually, the one of the Maslos goes into Abba ve'ima, so Das Elyon hamiyached Abba ve'ima, and that is the funnel. Let's say Das is like the funnel down that unites Abba ve'ima. Okay, so we got the number Kaf Vav now. So number Kaf Vav. So number Kaf Vav says, Rei B'Harab Haba. Well, that would be interesting. B'Shorish Adavarim Hu B'Zohar. So really, he says Yud. That's Yud Vav Dalet Im Kei Aleph Iloh. So it's Yud Im Hey Iloh. Okay, those are Abavim Eloim. Lo Talia Chabura the Lachon B'Chesed. So I don't know exactly, but there's Im Ella B'Maz Talia. So it doesn't really depend on the Chesed. It really comes from the Mazel. What's the Mazel? Okay, coming back. What happened? Oh, it was me. I hung up. I'm sorry. Thank you for calling back. Okay, let's look at number Kaf Vav again. He says, Rei B'Ha'ara B'Chalon. He said, Shur Shadavarim Hu B'Zohar. And he said, Yud Im Kei Iloh. Lo Talia Chabura de Lachon B'Chesed. I don't know exactly what that means. He says that it's not this, their joining together doesn't depend on Chesed. But actually, they're joining together. So he's saying Chabura, so I assume that's what it means. He said the Tanya Chaburim is really coming from a mazel. And the love for them, or their love. The lo misparshin la'omen, that they never would separate it. But it depends, what he's trying to say is it depends on the mazel. Akan. Rashby. I look over there in the Maimari Rashby. He says, now this is one I didn't remember exactly. He says, as the complete and total zivug ishtatku b'ravusa, it finds and it translates the height of haratzam hamisgala b'metzach u'mispashat adamazel. So I don't remember this. I know this is in the Idris, but I don't remember it. The height of haratzam hamisgala, there's the will, or this ratzon that is revealed b'metzach on the forehead, mispashat adamazel. So whatever this ratzon is, how they came about, I'm not sure. I don't remember. He said mispashet on the mazel, and it spreads down to the mazel. What's the mazel? It's the 8th and the 13th tikkun of the dikna. Because their yichud really depends on this mazel. This mazel allows this flow that comes from the metzach haratzon to be able to come down on through this and reach them. The Zohar is a B'Parshas Achrei Mos. I can't. Also, you have to look over there in the Eitz Chaim. Shabir v'Zech v'Zol Deshon explains over there, and this is what it says. B'Delag. Shir Kumus Abba v'Ima, that their height. Hey Machagaran ad Tibur Delibo. So I think we decided that the Tibur Delibo meant between the Tibur and the Chaza. I thought that was what it was. I'm not sure. But at any rate, he said that Tibur Deliba, the Erich anpin. So that's where Abba and Ima go to. Im came Nimsa, the high Dikna, Chafia al Abba ve'Ima. So therefore we see that the beard, in other words, I guess it comes down. Maybe he means Gabor Deliba, means Mamash, the chest, then. So he says that, I'm just saying, how does the beard get down there? Im came, he says, Im Nimsa, the high Dikna, this beard, Chapia al Abba Ve'ima, etc. So we see that it covers Abba Ve'ima, Ve'inon is Kalin by, and as a result of that, they're really incorporated into the beard of Erich. V'zecha b'sod ha'nirmaz be'id rezuta, so this is like this id rezuta, but daf resh pei tes, on the base, he says, uv'mazla talion uv'bei is kalilin. So they're really dependent on this, their existence is really dependent on this mazel. That's the pump, or the hose that's going to feed into them. Ki abba v'b'im trin ration is kalilin b'mazla. So this is Abba Ve'ima. They're two heads that are both, I thought he meant stuck together, b'mazla, by the mazel. But V'chaben says, this is to understand this, so therefore they can't make a yichud, rak bedas ilosh hu mazel, only through that middle. So he's trying to say that this middle thing, which is this mazel, I thought that he meant the iskilu, where it says trin rishon de iskalilu b'mazla. So I thought it just meant like they're stuck together. I'm not sure, because then he says, and so you got to work on that concept. What does that mean? He said, I guess they always say that the Maruch is giving us a blessing. So v'lechein einon yecholin hizdaveg abba ve'ima. So therefore, the yichud could only take place rak ayidech bedasi law, which is that mazel shehu tikun ayud gimel the dikna. So this is the lower tikun ad kan v'ayin sham ba'orech, and he says there's more over there, and I bet there is. Okay, so how we doing over here? Okay, so now let's go to let's move on from number Kaf Vav. He said, "V'hu b'sod lashon hamshakel hamaznayim." So this is the middle balancing what rod, whatever. Asher al yado nishkelis atipa, that through it is balanced the tipa. V'nimshach min abba de'iva b'sod hazivuk, and then it extends down. Nishkelis atipa v'nimshach min abba la'ima, from abba to ima b'sod hazivuk, at the secret of that zivuk. And we have a Kaf Zion here. Let's see what it says. He said, "Hooray b'mabusharim." He said, "Look at the mabusharim." He says, "V'hemshach sham." B'zel d'shana v'delog nivar ata hetiv inyan zivug abba ve'ima. Now we're going to explain really well this yichud. He's a beperik shekadim, so he said, or maybe he said we did already. The ve'ech nalasa an abba ve'ima tipach of the tzarech hazun. So how in fact that this is the pattern, is that abba gives the ima for the purpose of they're really carrying zun, the DNA of zun. V'hidach b'mishkal hu sod hadas. Okay, kanai the key bris alashon he bedas o bris amumed b'yisod amur b'sod. Okay. So let's go back to number Kaf Zayin and start it again. He said, "B'mabusharim b'hemshach nevar ata b'hetiv inyan zivug abba ve'ima." So now b'perek shekadim ve'ein ve'ech nasan abba ve'ima chatiba l'tzarech hazon. That's where we're at that now. So what balances it is the secret of das. Das is the balancer. Bris halashon hu bedas. So there's a bris of the tongue. I'm not sure what that means. It refers to das. A bris of ma'or, which I guess is I feel it is arousal. I'm not sure what it means. B'yisod, I don't think I know that word right now. So they're to understand or would recognize this thing, im kaved im kau hu ayida lashon mishako. So shuhu hadas. So he said, what are the words? He says, the recognition, so to really recognize I guess maybe the essence of something, if it's, I don't know what heavy, if it's one way or another, whatever way, he balances it out. So those tipas, going back, now you still got tipas in plural. Oh, no, this is in singular. So the tipa that goes down from Chochma to Bina, Hanikra or, which this tipa is called or. He nimsheches derek das, so it goes down through das. Now this is known. He said, ki l'chein azivug nikrucha b'shem yediyah. So therefore, that's the idea yediyah. The zivug comes around as a result of das. Kamoshene amar v'yada ad. So he gives the example of v'yada ad meschav. Ki das hu amazavek. This is the agency of it. Let me see this again one more time for myself. Ki l'chein hazivug nikra b'shem yediyah. So you have to have this yediyah for yichud. It is the agent of yichud. Tipas or mahamoach, and as the tipa comes out of the ruach hanikra chochma nimshachas derek das, so the tipa actually has to go through this das. Sham neshkalis, and there its balance starts weighed. What does that mean? That the tipa needs more or less? I'm not sure what that means. If it's heavy or if it's light. Does that mean more or less? I'm not sure. The chef is because the upper das. That upper das is from where the shefa pours off from al abba ve'ima. The hisdaveg whom mazla kadisha the dikna de Erich anpin. So that transportation hub that we're talking about is this final tikkun of Erich anpin, as he said before. Ba'ayin sham ba'orach. So you look over there, you could see it in some length. He says, v'chein rei b'drush or mayim rakia b'shar mamari Rashby. So look over there also. B'likut Torah, he says, umihu drush or mayim rakia mazlach b'beitz chaim. Okay, in other places like that. Okay, so we'll see a little bit more of some of those words. Let's go up to, now we're going to go to number Kaf Ches. It says like this, let's see if reading from, is that Kaf He? Here's Kaf Ches, okay. Reading from number Kaf Zayin. It says, Umevi Raya the Shorish Zer Anpin, Bekol Bechinoisav, V'chein Bebechinas Yaakov min Achaz of Lamata, V'chein Bebechinas Yisrael min Achaz of Lamal. So that's just a basic Eitz Chaim are saying like that. Akulam nischabachim min zivug abba ve'ima be'iva rishon, but both of those happen during the Iva Rishon. That is the Yisrael Saba, not the Yisrael Saba, the Yisrael from the Chaz of Lamala and the Yaakov from the Chaz of Lamata. Okay, so let's look at number Kaf Ches. Kaf Ches. I got a Kaf Zayin or Kaf Ches. Where's Kaf Ches? I'm getting it to it now. There we go. Okay, Kaf Ches. Kaf Ches says they're going to pay Rish and Bris Saruk. No, Rish Saruk. Okay, we're back again. Now, he says another Kaf Ches where we got to the thing about the Iva Rishon. He says, look over the Rim Saruk. He says, Shabir Khan explains over here. This is what he said. Hebicha Sefer Sifra Tzniuta. So, Raya Shazer Azer V'nukve, Nischav Min Abba V'ima is a proof that they came out of Abba Nivadechsiv, Zeh Yomar La Hashem Ani. So Zeh says this. Vakavana is like this. He says that the Milas Zeh Romas the Zer Anpin. Zeh says that Zer Anpin says La Hashem Ani. What does it mean? Because Bechinoisav. So he says again, this is Zer Anpin in all of the Bechinos. The Haidach of B'mar Tiboro Lamala Shenikra Yisrael. He says what What are the different bechinos of Zer Anpin? Well, from the Mala, but this is a different set of words. I think I remember this. So he says that Dahainim Mamara Hatiburo. Now, Mamara means the appearance to me, but he says anyway, the Mamara of the belly button, not the Chaza, Ulamala, that part is called Yisrael Commotion Befaresh, Sifra B'Samoch. We'll see that later to explain. I think it explains it means the same thing, it means the Chaza, but I'm not sure. But this is one Bechina. The Mata is you go from this place, which is called the Maritiburo, and go down from there. Shenikra Yaakov. That place is the place of Yaakov. Come on. Shemafarish Sefer B'Smoch. So you can explain that as we're coming. He said, "V'gam Romas the Nukva Hakolu B'Zer Anpin." Also, there's a look at the Nukva of which is incorporated, comes along with Zer Anpin, comes along with his own Nukva. He says, Ki Hazayin, because in that word Zeh, shall Mila Zeh, that Zayin, Romas the Zer Anpin. I thought he was going to say the opposite, but he didn't. So he says, Ki Hazayin shall Mila Zeh, the Zayin there. This refers to Zer Anpin, Gamasha Kosov of Rashby, and he says, why? Like Rashby says, Al Shalom, become Bakomos, he says, what? She Zayin, he Yud Al Vav. What's a Zayin, anyway? He says, a Zayin is really a Yud on top of a Vav. The Rambam is the Zer Anpin, and this is a reference to Zer Anpin. She'ein lo ata rosh bisman Iver Rishon, because Zer Anpin at the time of the Iver Rishon doesn't have a head. Shulchan b'mei Ima, which is because it's inside the womb of Ima. Ela b'koach, only he has a potential one. That's like he wants to say the Yud on top of a Vav. So he's a Vav, but he doesn't have a head. V'zel's ha-yud tuluya al hazayin, so that yud which is hanging over the vav, tuluya al vav, he rosho shazer anpin, that's the real head of Zer Anpin, shuhu ata rak b'koach, but it's to tell you that's it's just b'koach. V'ha-hey shal zeh, now the hey, ram is the nukva kanait, because hey is always a nukva, besod os hey achrona, shayud kivavke ad kan. So there's a little more languaging here and bringing up some more ideas, just to get an idea of this. Anyway, the Chalukas Yaakov Yisrael hu b'makom hatibor. Now he says really they wrote that it's at the place of the tibor. But later on we say, or you look at it deeper, he says shu b'makom achazir. K'noyde b'divrei Harizal. So this is really what the Rizal says in a lot of different places. Rebbe Sharagavanas, look over there, Vilsod Parshas Drachim. He said, Masha Kasevov, Nokvech Koloch Bezer Anpin, Regam It's Chaim, and he gives a Shar Yad Aleph, and that's one place to look, Zer Anpin, Besod Vov, and he says, Shepetoch Os Hey, so that's the Vov that comes along with the letter Hey, that leg on the letter Hey, Rishon Shehi Ima. Vav Kitzvos, and that's the Vav that's going to really is the antecedent of the Vav Kitzvos, and also the Malchus Choisa Parshas Choisa, where is it? The Kuda B'Siyam of Vav. It's just a dot at the end of that Vav. Now, I don't know how they're doing that. They're making it somehow, maybe the tail of the Vav curve at the very end. I'm not sure what he means, but it's a Malchus Chesed Nekuda B'Siyam Avav Sod Oshit B'Siyah Levar, which is the concept of stick your foot out. So he says on this Gevazayim Parshas Balak, he says Ad Kan. Zahuva B'Ara the Eil V'Inyan Shis Navke V'Chein Hu become a Makomos, and that's what it says over there. Whoa. That's it. Okay, that's it for today. Okay, I'm sorry about the position of this, here it is for those that can read it. Best thing to do is buy the book. This is Baruch Fleischman. I'm at the Tikkun Elevator Polo, and it's fairly early morning here in Boca Raton.